guys, Christine Mann here. So we are in story time. So on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday I do some stories for kids. Is like bug stories and stuff about Africa. And then Saturday and Sunday we are going through the Action Bible. So there's lots of great pictures. If your kids have one and want to follow along, that would be great. Or you can just look at the pictures because I'll show them on here. Okay. So today we're going to learn all about how the choices that Adam and Eve made to believe Satan instead of God impacted their lives, and it's not good. All right, so here's the first. I wonder if, hang on, I'm going to mess around with this just for a second. No. No. I'm trying to flip it over and it won't work. Okay, well, here we go. So, outside the Garden of Eden, the land is barren, hot and dry. Weary and alone and frightened, Adam and Eve search until they find a place to call home. And Eve says, "Remember how beautiful Eden was? If only." And Adam says, "It is our own fault for disobeying God, but I will teach our children to obey and love God. If I can help it, they won't repeat our mistake." So Adam teaches their sons, Cain and Abel, about God. God made the earth and everything we have. God even gave me my little lamb. And here's his brother. Sheep are dumb. How can I thank God? When you're older, Abel, you can give God the best of your flock. He told us we should make sacrifices to show our thankfulness. As the boys grow to be men, Abel plans for the day when he can give his thank offering to God. But Cain thinks only of his crops. Cain thinks, if Abel gives God a sacrifice, I'll have to offer one too. It's not a very good attitude, is it? God is pleased with Abel's gift, but Cain's grudging spirit displeases God. And this is Cain over here. "Why should God be happy with Abel and not with me? It's not fair." Not a very good attitude, eh? I can see where this is going. There's your first picture. As long as Abel is around, he'll always be the favorite. This is what Cain is thinking. God told me I could choose to have power over my sin. But I'd rather choose not to have a brother. Ooh. So Cain gives in to his jealousy and kills his brother. Now I just need to pretend I don't know anything about Abel's death. Do you think that'll work? But God calls out to Cain, because God knows everything. "Cain, where is your brother?" "I don't know. Am I supposed to keep track of my brother?" And he's thinking, he knows. Of course he knows. "Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. From now on, the ground will yield no fruit for you, and you will wander the earth until your death. Please, God, this punishment is more than I can take." God's sentence is carried out. Cain flees to a land called Nod, and eventually he gets married and starts a family and builds the first city, which he will name for his son Enoch. But in the meantime, Adam and Eve are heartbroken over losing both of their sons. Sin always leads to so much sadness. "Our house is so empty, Adam. Will we always be alone like this?" We brought this tragedy on ourselves. So did Cain, but God has been good to us. Let's ask him to help us now. In time, God gives Adam and Eve a third son. We'll call him Seth, and we'll teach him to obey God the way Abel did. Seth learns to obey God. 2 of his descendants are Enoch, who walked with God, and Methuselah, who died at the age of 969. Did you know people lived that long back then? It's a long time. He was the oldest person who ever lived. And that is the end of that story for today. So I hope we learned a little bit about how much sadness that sin can bring into our lives. And if we choose to do the way that God says to do life, just like Abel did when he offered the sacrifice that God wanted, then God was pleased and he didn't have the big consequences that Cain did. So when we choose to be obedient to God and do the right thing, that always leads to better choices and a better life. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.